You've heard of local pipe clubs. You've heard of national pipe clubs. You've probably heard of international pipe clubs, but have you ever heard of those that transcend that of the local, national, and international levels? Well, friends, I'm about to blow your world away, for it matters not if you live in the United States, other part of North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, all of the continents, or hell, if you even happen to be an ET, some other worldly character from the galaxy Andromeda, from wherever you hail, you are welcome to our pipe club. And alas, that is the magic of the Galactic Get Piped Pipe Club. Well met, friends, my name is Adam and this is Get Piped, where we love to pipe. And today's piping is all about the Galactic Get Piped Pipe Club, my online pipe club and community that is both ever growing and ever entertaining. In this episode, I will do my absolute best to show you how to set up an account, understand the app, navigate the club, and maybe provide some tips and tricks to make it a little bit more enjoyable. In the end, just know that the GGPPC has an open door policy, so feel free to come and go as you please. Feel free to join and never say a single word, or join and share everything and anything about your pipe smoking journey. It truly is an open forum, with the really only one exception being no hot topics. Anything outside of the pipes and tobacco in terms of hot topics. If there's some hot topic thing going on in the community, feel free to put your input in to discuss it, but we really do try to stay away from especially politics and anything like that, because it just makes everybody miserable. So that's kind of our only rule. But outside of that, man, this is the place to be. Our club offers, of course, discussions based in all things tobacco and pipes, but then expands to other hobbies and lifestyles, talking about food and drink and more of that stuff, other things about life. And then, of course, it's also the best place to submit content ideas or feedback or various other submissions to the Get Piped podcast or the Get Piped YouTube channel. And I'll show you all of that. But before that, we need to move over to the system itself. But before we move into the system itself, it's important to understand that there are two ways of accessing the Galactic Get Piped Pipe Club, both of which will be through the free online application called Discord, this little icon here. These two ways are desktop, PC, Mac, whatever you have, or a laptop. And then, of course, the mobile. So that's like your iPhone, your Android, if you're on the green message thing, or an iPad or some kind of Samsung thing. I don't know. Some mobile. You know what that is. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to try to show you how to navigate on both formats. That might be a little bit tricky, but we'll really start and mess with the desktop area because it's a little bit easier to digest and will translate very well into the mobile app version, which most of our folks will be using. So that said, let's move over to the desktop. All right, let's get into this. The very first thing, you'll go to www.discord.com. It will then ask you to download for Windows or just stay in your browser. Now, if you're doing the mobile, you go to the App Store and download the damn thing, right? Easy. If you're doing the laptop thing, I prefer to have the desktop application. I like to download it. It's virtually the same, but it's a lot more efficient, of course. We'll breeze through this creation process, but I want to highlight the fact that users in the community won't have access to your email. Discord also affords the opportunity to use an alias, so you can use your social handle or even make up your own identity and name to stay anonymous if that's what you're into. Now, usernames are unique to the user, display names are not. So maybe McClellan Tobacco Fan username is taken, but you really want to identify as that in the server. Well, that's where the display name comes in. Other than that, just follow the cues and make your account. Now, once you've made your account, you'll want to join your first server, i.e. the Galactic Get Piped Pipe Club. Yes, that's called a server. You can do so by clicking on the link provided in the description below or through other means like our show notes on the Get Pipe podcast. And I'll be using that as our example in this video because this video's not up, so there is no description for me to access. So I'll pull up my favorite podcasting host, I'm a Spotify guy myself, and head to search, Get Piped, GETPIPED, and then click any episode and head to the description. Side note, if you're new to the podcast, you can access it on any platform. I just happen to be a Spotify guy. But if you want to get involved, be sure to start with the newest release and then maybe head back to the beginning and listen sequentially. Just keeping in mind to listen to the newest weekly drop as you get through our bookshelf of episodes. Great for staying up to date and for encouragement to get through the initial rough ones where producer guy and I were finding our voice. But down here, I'll click join the Get Piped community Discord, where it will pop up my Discord app that I've already installed. And if not, it will say continue to use in browser. Assuming you're logged in, it will bring you to the very first page, the welcome page. This is where the tutorial really begins. When you first join, you will receive a notification that says your name is here. Wave and say hi. You do not have to wave to yourself. You can, but instead other folks will typically click that button and they will e-wave you to welcome you into the server. What happens is some random creature will start dancing or wave into you and probably get a notification each time that happens. Which brings me to the very first and probably the most important tip: silence all of your notifications. To do that, we will click the server icon, that iconic Get Piped icon on the left here, and you'll right click or press and hold on mobile, navigate to notification settings. I prefer to have only @messages, and what this means is if someone directly messages you in the server, you will get a notification for it. Now this includes the @everyone command and the @here mentions. If you type @everyone, it will send a notification to all 800 plus individuals in the server. Not ideal, we don't love doing that. Whereas @here, if you type that out, it will send a notification to whomever is on the app at the time. Typically, it's common practice, again, not to use either of these commands unless you're hosting an event or one of the moderators or me are making an announcement of extreme importance. That said, you can remove yourself from those. You can tap suppress to both. I don't recommend it. I think they're valuable at times when they're used, but just know, gentlemen's agreement, ladies and gentlemen agreement, don't do it unless you need to, but you probably don't have to. All right, that was very important, but now let's discuss the breakdown of Discord. As I had mentioned, the far left side is your collection of servers. The Galactic Get Pipe Club is a Discord server. I prefer to be a part of as few as possible, because this can get pretty out of hand when you're getting notifications left and right. Today, I almost exclusively use the G-Cheap PPC, and any other servers I have are thrown into a folder to keep my system clean and clear and concise. Now, once you're in the server, just to the right, we have our channels within the server. We know we are in the Galactic Get Pipe Club because the header is our server's name. Also, there's a little white bar to the left of our server icon that points it out as well. Now, for our server, you will find both categories and channels. At the time of recording, we have about 10 different categories, those being admin, channel, podcast, general, get, lifestyle, hobbies, food and drink, social, and voice chats. Now, each category has its own set of associated channels underneath it, and it's in these channels where we do our discussions. The best way to navigate this page is to start with all of the category headers minimized. You can do this by simply clicking or tapping the category title. We will start by opening the admin, and I'll break down everything in between. Quick note, if yours does not look like this, and you're seeing channels from closed categories and they're still appearing, it's because you have unread messages, thus populating that channel for you to review. To hide that, you would click on the channel, scroll to the bottom, and it should disappear when you close that overarching header category. Other ways to do it would be to hold it down or right click and do mark as read. But back to our admin channel, not much to come from here. We have our simple club rules, a how-to in which this video will then be posted, and a bunch of plugs for pipe events, merch, articles, and other various things. But one major highlight is our roles channel. Everyone should visit this. It should be like the first thing you do after you get welcomed into the server. Roles are unique to a server, and in my server, we have ways of identifying yourself through the tobacco you enjoy most. When you make a selection, your username will change to that particular color in our server. For example, if you're an aromatic guy, you would select the icon that corresponds to being an aromatic guy. And it's this happy little frog guy. You'll notice my name changes immediately. You can change your preferences based on this list. Make sure to read through all of them. It's a little bit funny, tongue-in-cheek, but should be fun. Now, it gets a little wonky if you select more than one role, so be sure to unselect the one that you didn't want, and then that will go away, and then click on the one that you do want. Most people seem to be Get Piped guys, which is the role for loving all tobacco. I'll go back to that one. So we're done with admin, and we can now talk the next two primary features for listeners of the Get Piped podcast and viewers of the Get Piped YouTube channel, the channel and the podcast category. Under the channel category, I post my new videos in the newest drops channel, and below there's the channel for video suggestions. The podcast category is much more involved as our show is very interactive with the listener. Within we have our drops just as you would our YouTube channel category, but also in the podcast category, we have a channel for references. If we ever mention something on the show that needs a visual context, like say we're talking about a new pipe or a video mentioned, we will post it in here most of the time. But for example, we did an episode on Norman Rockwell and we discussed several of his paintings. Within that channel, you'll find all of those paintings and you can go back and scroll through to that episode. Now, if you're listening to this or watching this and we're at episode 500, this is 10 years from now, yeah, that's going to be dated. You're not going to be able to probably search all the way back. I mean, I'm sure there's some search feature. I don't know. Bear with me. It's more of a modern thing. Get listening to the damn show. It's a lot of fun. Join the club. Now, everything below that becomes a means for listener submission. We have a myriad of segments and topics that require your creative input. You can submit those within these channels. I'll add in yet another quick note. These channels aren't necessarily for you to respond to the this or that's or the over-unders. So if someone submits the idea of like, hey, is Savinelli overrated or underrated? I would love to hear your thoughts, but not in that channel because it clogs it up and it makes it a little bit difficult for us to go back and navigate through what we need to do for the next episode. However, you can go to the general chat and respond to it, and I'll show you how to do that next. So we'll close those two categories to stay organized and move on to general. General is simple. The category contains two simple channels of a 1 general chat and a 1A content. Now, as implied, general is for anything and everything. You can keep it to pipes and tobacco, about your workday, your weekend plans, something in the news, whatever is going on. This is the go-to discussion channel. Now, content is the one just under our second channel within the category, and that allows you to give general and direct feedback on anything content related to the Get Piped media production. Maybe this video helps you out and you wanted to share your thoughts after you leave a comment here on YouTube, of course. Then the content channel is a go-to spot. This will include anything you want to touch on from our weekly podcast. Have I made it clear that I want you to listen? It's really cool, okay? Please. To something you saw on YouTube, or maybe it's maybe something about an event or our upcoming Battle of the Briar trailer. Make sure to go check that one out as well. It's on YouTube. It's like 2 minutes long. Really cool. Next pipe smoking documentary coming this year, 2024. I don't know when this is going live. Maybe it's next year. I don't like it when people say, oh, next year in 2024, and it's like December 26th. Come on. Come on. The next several categories are for fun. Man, these are what separate our club from the rest. In the Get channel, you have many categories related to pipes and smoke. We got a Get Piped, a Get Tobaccoed, a Get Cigarred, a Get Smoked, a Get Pipe Showed, and more. Piped is an awesome spot to showcase maybe some recent acquisition of pipes you might have, maybe some old pipes you got, anything pipe related, of course. Now, Get Tobaccoed serves as the same function but based on the leaf. The smoke channel is kind of a hybrid. This is where you can show off what you're actively smoking through maybe a selfie or just a description of the pipe and tobacco combo you chose. Maybe you want to give a rundown or maybe a review on a particular blend you smoked and how it was feeling. That's a great channel for that. This tends to be pipe focused when we're talking about smoking, because we do have a deliberate channel for cigars, and that's our Cigarred channel. Here you can post photos and have discussions on cigars. Who would have thought? Likely you'll see me posting in there, what the hell is this cigar? Why is it so tasty? And hopefully I get a response because I know nothing. Now, Pipe Showed allows us to chat about upcoming and even past events that are going on within the community. It allows us to coordinate with people within the club who might be going to a particular event as well. Even further, some of our wonderful artisans might post some sneak peeks of their works that they might be bringing to a show. Dealed is a phenomenal channel where we post the latest discount codes, the latest drops of rare tobaccos, the latest sales across the entire pipe smoking world from any retailer or local tobacconist. And it's for all to see first and take advantage of. Within, you might also see some sales for trades or pipes of individuals within the pipe community, which is also really, really awesome. Sometimes artisans or resellers might put in a code there for their particular website dedicated to the Get Pipe server as well. It's a really, really awesome spot. Just under that, though, we have our wanted. So maybe you're actually searching for a rare tobacco or a particular pipe. Post it in here and a member might have a look at it and be like, hey, yeah, I have that pipe. I haven't smoked it in 10 years. You can have it for a price or for free. I don't know. You'll never know what you're going to find in the Galactic Get Pipe Club. Now that completes the Get category, and I'd argue this category is the meat and potatoes of the server. But to allow for more discussion and engagement, we have several more categories that will be briefly touched on. Lifestyle is an encompassing category of entertainment and media. My favorite is our pipe spotting channel, where folks post pipes spotted in the wild. Maybe that's at a bar, in a film, or on a bumper sticker, or in an old photograph from a museum. Awesome stuff here. It is always so fun to take a look in that channel, see where pipes have showed up in the world. We also have a pet channel to show off our beloved pets, fitness for our fitness journeys, history discussion, books, music, memes, and more. I especially love our channel titled Picks That Go Hard. It's for, well, picks that go hard. Sometimes you just know. The hobbies category explains itself, right? Engage in discussions on weapons, outdoors, video games, pens, and even just share your own writing samples in the Wrote channel. Towards the end, we got our food and drink, and of course you can figure what that one's about. And then just below that, we have our social category, our final category, which encompasses all pipe smoking media outside of Get Piped. Here we have a YouTube pipe discussion channel, a YTPC, where you can refer to the other great videos from the content side of the YTPC. And then the same applies for the IGPC and the PPC, what we're calling the pipe podcasts community. We have a channel for all the other podcasts that you want to talk about. Maybe they say something crazy. Maybe they say, hey, Get Pipe sucks. Hey, I don't blame them, but that's a place to talk about it. As we near the end of this list of channels, we come to our voice chats. Voice chat is our dedicated space for our weekly Friday Night Pipes. Friday Night Pipes is a wonderful event that was originally supposed to happen every 2 weeks, but has since really become an every week event. I'll even add that this is not a locked channel, so just like the overarching server, this is an open door policy. Sometimes you'll see the chat populated on a random time throughout the day, maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday afternoon or even night, and it's just really, really cool to see folks join in there. You can join in with just your voice or also use video. It's completely up to you. Some folks will join, not say a single word, and there's also a text channel where you can type in and act as if you're speaking with us. Now I'll end this tutorial with some additional tips and tricks for the server. As I mentioned earlier, to keep it organized, I like to keep the categories collapsed. Once that's done, look for the white highlighted channels in the server. If you have the category collapsed and see this highlighted channel, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, it means you have unread messages. This is a great function for all the channels you really care about. Now I can imagine there will be many of you that do not care about many of the other channels. That's where the mute option comes in, preventing that highlighted channel from ever showing up, at least until you receive an notification, which is also super helpful. For example, on my particular profile, we can see under the lifestyle category that some channels are grayed out and others are like a darker gray. Dark gray shows what I have completely muted. Now I will not get any notification or message highlight from those muted channels unless someone @s me directly. Now you can still access them, right? And comment on them and participate, but you just won't have to deal with that updated glowing pop-up for the channel. But for me, I love pets, I do, but I muted this channel so I won't pop up every time. Same goes for books, music, and memes, and films. In fact, I'll show you how to do it. It's super simple. Say I want to mute the history channel. I'll right-click the channel or long hold on mobile and select Mute Channel. It'll then give you the option for a temporary muting or a permanent muting in the form of until I turn back on. I prefer this final option, so I click it. Once I select that, you'll receive nothing from that channel. You'll notice as I click off, it will be the darker gray, indicating that the channel has in fact been successfully muted. Other cool options include the mark all as read function. Maybe you don't want to catch up on several channels that maybe you've missed from, say, a social media hiatus. Well, most channels will be highlighted, right? They're going to be absolutely populated. Start fresh, you can right click the channel or long press on mobile and select the mark as read option. Now you can actually do this for the entire server as well. If you do the exact same thing for the server icon, look at that, mark all as read, up to date. You're ready to get back in. Now, when it comes to the actual functionality of Discord, it's pretty simple. It's this ultra live room where people can chat instantly. It's honestly like a second coming of chat room, as all these channels are essentially a live chat room. When you're in a channel, you can post photos, videos, text messages, and other things like GIFs and emotes or emojis. When it comes to having conversations, as mentioned, feel free to chat just chat away. But if you're looking to reply to someone specifically who might have mentioned something in the server or in a channel earlier, you can respond by right-clicking the message or long pressing on mobile and selecting reply. What this does is it adds context to your message, and it also sends a ping to that individual informing them that you're speaking to them, or at least referencing something that they had said. And it will show just a little preview of the message that they had sent originally, which you can also click and tap, and then Discord will bring you up into the server, into the channel, wherever it was, to see that message in its original form. Now, if it's a live back and forth, no need to constantly use the reply function, but sometimes it is good because people will use the app and then head out real quick, go buy their coffee, forget about it, but if they see that they got a response, they'll know to go back. This is also great for if someone asks a question and they want an answer to it. They put it in the server and put their phone away, can put the laptop closed, and then if you wanted to respond to it, they could either check that server later, or you could be, the upstanding citizen and just slap their name, respond to it, and they'll get the notification immediately. There are some final little quirks that can be added to a text message within Discord. When I mentioned the Get Pipe podcast submissions for this or that, or overrated, underrated, say you wanted to respond to that, but you didn't want to clog up the channel because you wanted to help old producer guy out and get piped. What you would do is you would go to either general channel. I would avoid content because it probably hasn't happened yet unless it already did. Maybe you're responding to something that I said that was crazy to you in an episode from a this or that or some kind of segment. You can go to that channel and you can type in hashtag, add the channel. So say hashtag this or that, and then it will link that channel. And then you can go on to your message, say, hey, in response to what you said and hashtag this or that, this is absolutely crazy. You can do this with other servers. Maybe someone asked a question that's already been answered. Hey, go check out hashtag this channel, hashtag that channel. But as for some other fun stuff, by adding an asterisk on each side of a word or a sentence, the text message will come out in italics once the message has been sent. By adding 2 on each side, you'll get a bold text here. But if you want really bold, you can do the hashtag symbol yet again. This time, don't add any text immediately after, but instead add a space and then type out your message, and the text will be mega big and bold. Really cool, really fun. Don't abuse it. It might get annoying, but it's fun for, a little emphasis here and there. There are other built-in functions that you can look up as well. A lot of them are really fun. Inside a chat, you can @, a particular individual when referencing them or trying to ask them a particular question, and they'll receive, again, that push notification. Again, it's kind of the unspoken rule to not use the @everyone command. Very few people in the server should be doing that. That's really me or producer guy or one of our moderators. Now, if you wanted to send a private message, you can always right click or long hold a person's profile photo and select send message. And then you can go into your messages. And I think that covers the Discord basics. You'll pick up on other little aspects. And of course, you'll get our Get Pipe community rhythm the longer you hang around. But I think that'll get you going. And again, you don't have to stay. You can join the thing. You can message when you want. You can ask your questions and leave. You can make your submission and leave, or you can hang out for the long haul. We are welcoming you all the same. Our Galactic Get Pipe Club is an incredibly valuable tool and an entertaining asset for all pipe smokers across the sphere. It's an opportunity to congregate with pipe smokers just like you when you might otherwise not have any around you. This community is for questions, answers, recommendations, entertainment, laughter, happiness, and friendship camaraderie. We push hard on this idea of pipe as you please, where no tobacco is shunned, no pipe is discredited, and no opinion is cast aside. When it comes to pipes and smoke, we are the ultimate pipe club, one that transcends that of the local and national and international levels, a true galactic Get Piped pipe club. Can't wait to see you there. But I think that's it for me. You have all just been piped, and until the next piping, I'm out. And today's piping is all about the Galactic Get Piped Pipe Club. I don't know why I'm a orchestrator. Or that's an orchestrator, right? The orchestra guy, the head honcho of the orchestra.